Hello everyone, this is a recap of the series, Earth Abides. Enjoy watching. Ish has a hobby, searching for valuable minerals. One day he gets bitten by a snake. He rushes home as fast as he can and passes out from the venom. In a semi-conscious state, he sees military helicopters flying across the sky. When he regains consciousness, he already has a beard on his face. Knowing nothing of what's happened, Ish gets in his car and drives into the city. But there are no living people left. Soldiers had told civilians to take shelter in safe places and pray to God. The radio picks up leftover static. That's how Ish realizes this has happened across the entire country. He rushes to his parents' house, but it's already too late. He understands that soon everything will be overgrown with grass, and eventually, cities will turn into jungles. Ish still hopes to find other people, but every house he enters contains only the dead. And for some reason, the exits from the city are blocked. He tries to wake himself up, hoping it's all just a dream. Toward nightfall, a bright light appears in the distance. It's Las Vegas, but there are no people there either. Ish spends the rest of the day wandering through luxurious hotels, eventually stumbling upon two people.
Everyone's dead, hon.
N asks Milton to bring Ish some clothes. Milton says they're immune. He documents everything on his phone. It turns out a mysterious virus has appeared in the world. Medical teams tried to stop the outbreak, but humanity wasn't prepared. The government made a fatal mistake. They believed that if they didn't impose a curfew, there would be no panic, and things would stay under control. But that only accelerated the spread of the virus. The entire world died out. They hadn't seen another living person except Ish. Every time they turned on the news, a new country was reported as fallen to the virus. A new day begins. Ish tells his new companions that he plans to leave. The country is big, maybe he'll find someone else. Milton suggests staying. The local generators will last a few more weeks, and they have everything they need. They could easily survive for a while. Later, Milton uses a gun. He and Anne had already discussed everything. Ish asks Anne to reconsider and leave with him. She refuses, but says that if he stays, she'll make his time more interesting. Ish walks out of the hotel and drives away. On the edge of the city, he finds a dog and takes it with him. To survive, he heads to a library and gathers the most useful books. That's how the first year passes. All cities are now covered in greenery. One day, he reads that people tend to hope for what they cannot see. However, Ish actually sees smoke and rushes toward its source.
What do you want?
I haven't seen anyone in the longest time.
Emma turns out to be his neighbor. She's been living in that town for a few days. Her parents were in the military, and their upbringing gave her a fighting chance to survive. Ish is tired of being alone, so he stays with her for a while. The next day, he shows her where he lives. Their supplies are almost gone, so the couple decides to check out the nearest supermarket. From that day on, they live together. Emma starts wondering why they're still alive. She doesn't believe in fate. Maybe it's just the universe's joke playing out like some surreal show. While installing solar panels, Ish trips and injures his leg. Fortunately, the injury isn't too serious. He recovers quickly. A month later, they realize there's going to be a new addition to their family. This terrifies Ish. There are no hospitals anymore, and no one can help them. They start studying medical literature. A few days later, Ish fully restores electricity. Now they have a working refrigerator. But that night, the city is overrun by rats. The ground is literally covered with rodents. The rats are so hungry, they even attack the dog. But Ish quickly rescues his friend. Over time, stray cats fix the situation. Now nothing prevents them from walking the streets with their child. But for Emma, this life isn't enough. She starts leaving signs showing where they can be found. One day, Ish stumbles upon a girl. He manages to convince her that they mean no harm and brings her back. By that time, the settlement has already grown. More children have joined, along with George and Maury, who saw the signs. 7 years after the beginning of the end, Ish hears an alarm. Armed, they head into the forest and discover another group of survivors. They agree to lower their weapons. Their names are Molly, Ezra, Jane, and Rave. They insist they don't need anything. But Ish knows everyone needs something. He invites them to visit the settlement. They found the place thanks to the signs. Maury finds Jane's face familiar. Turns out she used to be a famous singer. They had lived in another group, but most of them died from a regular flu. The next day, all the adults plan to explore an area they've never entered before. They're divided into pairs. If anyone sees something strange, they must contact the others immediately. Now there are 4 more people in the group. The top priority is finding canned food. The raid is a huge success. They find lots of food and medical supplies. A few more years pass. Some of the kids grow up and new ones are born. Being the most well-read, Ish becomes their teacher. One day, a heavy downpour hits the city. Ish tries to find his friend, but it's too late. He was killed by a falling tree. Fighting back tears, Ish buries him. The next day brings a new trial. A puma jumps out from the forest. Ish throws himself in front of the children to shield them, taking serious injuries. Only through teamwork are they able to save him. Emma can't live peacefully knowing a predator is still out there. She hunts it down and kills it. A few days later, Ish returns home. By the 17th year after the fall of humanity, Joey has become a skilled fisherman, something Ish is very proud of. But his other son, Alex, grows jealous. Rafe and Heather are fascinated by many things, like a billiard table. They've never seen the normal world, so everything feels new and exciting. Eventually, they grow closer and start dating. Staying in one place becomes boring, and they convince their parents to let them go on a short trip. One day, while Evie is filling the kettle, she notices the water is running slowly. Upon checking the reservoir, they find it empty. The pipes are broken and leaking. There's only about a week's worth of water left. Before they can even process this, new people arrive at the settlement, Charlie and his companions. According to him, their group found a drilling rig and learned how to dig wells. He offers to teach them too. Ish gives them some fuel, and everyone begins drilling a new well. While out hunting, Charlie suddenly fires at an animal without warning. This alarms Ish. What's worse, Charlie says he often practiced shooting, not just at animals. All of this deeply unsettles Ish. He no longer wants the guests in his home, but no one listens. Everyone likes Charlie. The next day, water starts flowing from the new well. Charlie's help is no longer needed. They tell him it's time to leave. But he says he really likes it here and asks, "Why not stay one more day?" Late at night, Ish hears a woman scream. He steps out of his room and sees Charlie walking out of Evie's house, while his friend Silas stands silently outside. Ish goes to check on Evie and finds her in tears. Everything becomes clear. Charlie must be punished. Before doing anything, Ish gives him one last chance to leave. When Charlie refuses, Ish eliminates him. However, Charlie's family is allowed to stay. Perry doesn't even grieve his death. He had hurt her too. Only Silas remains loyal to Charlie and leaves the settlement. A few hours later, Silas returns. He says he's thought everything through and realized he was wrong, but Ish refuses to listen. Silas knew what Charlie had done, and he chose to protect him in silence. 20 years passed since it all began. Joey has built a prototype airplane. Alex is still jealous of his brother. One evening, several people, including Joey, suddenly fall ill. The disease spreads rapidly. Corey fears the virus that once wiped out humanity has returned, and that they're in danger again. Ish spends every free moment by Joey's side. This irritates Alex. He's convinced that if he were the one who got sick, Ish wouldn't be there for him the same way. Days go by, but Joey doesn't recover. Ish starts to believe that God is punishing him for killing Charlie. With no other options, he clears a path and drives to the main city to get medicine. He also visits a church and prays, begging God to take him instead and let Joey live. Heather returns home, but without Rafe. He's dead. One day they found a message and arrows. Following them, they encountered a madman. He stabbed Rafe, and Heather instantly threw a hatchet at him. But it was too late to save Rafe. Molly begins developing a new medicine. It needs a few days to take effect. Luckily, it works. It turns out this was a new strain of the virus, and Molly managed to defeat it. At the same time, Corey asks what the madman looked like. Based on the description, he realizes it was Silas. Sadly, Joey is the only one the medicine couldn't save. Devastated, Ish crosses out Emma's name from the wall. She finds him in the library and reminds him that he still has other children, and that he shouldn't do anything reckless. Though Ish returns home, he feels lost and unsure of what to do next. A year later, Ish gathers the strength to enter Joey's room. In his journal, he finds a dream: to find more people. Joey had been working on a radio to make contact. Wanting to fulfill his son's dream, Ish gathers the settlers and shares what he's read. Eventually, an antenna appears atop the building, but the radio stays silent. Ish doesn't leave the receiver for a moment, constantly switching frequencies. Heather wonders, what if the numbers she once saw were actually a frequency? Her guess proves correct. Not far from them, there's a settlement with 70 people. Ish proposes they unite, and with that, the series comes to an end. Don't forget to like the video. We'll see you again soon. Bye for now.